In the winter of 2012, in a psychology lab in Vancouver, a researcher named Erin Buckels put a machine on a table. It looked like a coffee grinder. It was a coffee grinder, with a funnel fitted on top. Next to it, 3 paper cups. Inside each cup, a live bug, and each bug had a name written on the cup in marker. Muffin, Ike, Tootsie. Students came in one at a time. Each was offered a choice of 4 jobs. Hold your hand in ice water, clean a dirty toilet, help someone else kill bugs, or pick up Muffin, drop her into the funnel, and turn the crank yourself. Nobody was forced. Nobody got paid extra. A completely harmless option sat on that table the entire time, and still, about 1 in 4 chose the grinder. These weren't criminals. They were ordinary students, the kind of people you work with, live near, trust. And the study they were part of ended up in a major science journal under a title the field couldn't ignore: Behavioral Confirmation of Everyday Sadism. Now hold on to this room, because there's one detail about that machine I'm not telling you yet. And when you hear it, at the end of this video, it will change the meaning of everything you just heard. The follow-up experiment swapped bugs for people. Participants played a simple computer game. Win a round and you could blast your opponent with loud noise through their headphones, as loud and as long as you wanted. But Buckels changed one thing. The opponent never fired back. Not once. Just a harmless stranger taking it. Most people did what you'd probably do. No threat, no fight, so they eased off. The blasts got softer. One group got harder. And then came the twist. In the final version, you had to finish a boring, tedious task just to earn each blast. Most people looked at that deal, my effort for a stranger's pain, and said no thanks. The cruel ones did the work. That's the whole thesis of this video right there. Some people will pay a price, time, effort, their own comfort, just for the chance to hurt someone who never hurt them. Not out of anger, not by accident. The pain itself was the reward. Psychologists used to believe cruelty was always a side effect of ego, of ambition, of numbness. This study forced them to admit a 4th type of person exists, someone for whom your suffering isn't the side effect, it's the point. And here's the uncomfortable part. These people don't look like anything. No warning signs on the face. So how do you spot one? In a marriage, a family, an office, maybe in your own phone contacts. Simple. They never confess, but they always repeat. And repetition leaves fingerprints, 7 of them. Let's take them one by one, and I'll tell you now. Number 3 is the one that proves intent beyond any doubt. 1. The apology that resets nothing. In 1996, a psychologist named George Simon wrote a book called In Sheep's Clothing, after years of working with people who apologized beautifully and changed nothing. His conclusion flipped everything he'd been taught. Their behavior wasn't a wound acting out. It was an attack, dressed up to be deniable. And the best disguise of all was the apology. It comes fast. It sounds perfect. It costs them nothing. And then, right on schedule, the same behavior comes back. So write this one down. An apology is not information. Repetition is information. One incident tells you what someone did. The same incident happening again after the tears, that tells you what someone chooses. 2. They light up when you fall. Scientists studying pleasure at others' pain have caught it on facial sensors. In certain people, watching a rival fail, the smiling muscle fires in milliseconds before the polite face can cover it. Brain scans by psychologist Mina Cikara found the same thing underneath. A rival's pain can trigger the brain's reward system, the same circuits as food, as money. Now, everyone feels a tiny flash of this sometimes. Remember that, because at the end of this video, I'm turning it on you. But 1500 years ago, a Buddhist monk named Buddhaghosa gave us the cleaner test. He named the rarest human virtue, mudita, the ability to feel genuine joy at someone else's good news. And he named its enemy, the person who can't stand watching you rise. So watch for this. Who goes quiet when you share good news, and suddenly gets warm, curious, and available when your life falls apart? Support that only shows up for your failures isn't support, it's appetite. Here's number 3, the one that removes all doubt. 3. The archive. You told them the soft thing, the thing about your father, the year you fell apart, the insecurity you've never said out loud to anyone else. And months later, it comes back, in an argument, or as a joke in front of people, aimed at the exact spot you showed them was unguarded. Think about what that requires. Random cruelty could be carelessness. This can't be. To hurt you with your own secret, they had to hear it, keep it, and pull it out at the perfect moment. That's not a failure of listening. That wound was made from listening. And here's the line worth remembering. Knowing you deeply is not love, it's access. What they do with the access, that's the love, or it isn't. 4. The Lamp. London, 1938. A play opens called Gaslight. In it, a husband dims the lamps in the house every night, then gently tells his wife the lamps haven't dimmed. She's imagining it. She's unwell. Everything she sees is real, and he is slowly teaching her that her own eyes are broken. That play gave us the word gaslighting, and its everyday little brother is dismissal. You say, "That hurt me," and instead of a conversation, you get a verdict. Sensitive, dramatic, unreasonable. Notice the trick. Your pain wasn't discussed. You were put on trial. So use this test. It almost never lies. When you report a wound, do they examine the wound or prosecute the witness? 5. The audience. Quick test. Do it right now in your head. That person who jokes at your expense, do the jokes ever happen when you're alone with them? Almost always, no. And that answer is everything. Because cruelty that waits for a crowd isn't a slip, it's a performance. The crowd is the trap. Push back, and you're the one making a scene. Stay quiet, and everyone just watched you take it, which was the show. People with real, hard feedback pull you aside, privately, because they want you protected. People who wait for an audience want the opposite. 6. They cause the pain, then blame your reaction. In 1992, Harvard psychiatrist Judith Herman wrote Trauma and Recovery, and in it, one freezing cold insight. The person doing harm asks nothing of the people watching. Bystanders get to do what they already wanted, nothing. The victim has to ask for effort, take a side, remember, act. That's why this move works everywhere. A line gets crossed, and within minutes, the topic is your tone, your overreaction. They made the wound, and your flinch goes on trial. If you've ever left a fight genuinely unsure whether you were the victim while being the only one bleeding, hear this. That confusion wasn't an accident. That confusion was the product. 7. You keep shrinking. In 2003, neuroscientist Naomi Eisenberger put people in a brain scanner and had strangers exclude them from a silly computer game. The result made headlines. Rejection lit up the same brain machinery as physical pain. So when you say a person hurts you, that's not drama, that's an accurate report, which means your exhaustion is data. If one specific person reliably leaves you smaller, foggy, drained, rereading your own texts like a suspect, month after month, your body already finished the investigation. It's just been waiting for you to read the results. Okay, but people change, right? Surely enough love, enough patience softens anyone. One man tested that idea with everything he had. It cost him his life. Rome, around 55 AD. Seneca, the most famous philosopher alive, writes an essay called On Mercy for exactly one reader, his student, a teenager. The new emperor, Nero. Seneca spent years pouring wisdom into that boy. Daily lessons, the best philosophy of the age, unlimited access. If patience and goodness could ever cure cruelty, this was the perfect test. Nero had his own mother killed, then his wife. And in the year 65, Seneca received an order from his old student, open your veins. The lesson isn't people never change, people change all the time. The lesson is sharper. People change through their own reckoning, never through your endurance. To someone who enjoys the crank, your endurance isn't inspiring, it's fuel. Now the part most videos skip because it might sting. It's about you. First, the warning label. With 7 signs in your pocket, you can start seeing monsters everywhere. Don't. Your tired friend who forgot your news isn't a sadist. She's tired. A partner who remembers a fight differently isn't dimming the lamps. Memory fails in both directions, yours included. Even the word gaslighting got so overused that accusing someone of it, just for disagreeing with you, has become its own way of calling their mind broken. The weapon fires backward. These 7 signs describe patterns over time with a payoff. Never one incident, never one bad week. And that flicker I told you to remember? You've felt it. Everyone scores above 0 on this scale. You've smiled inside when a rival stumbled. You've reached into someone's secrets mid-argument, at least once. The difference between you and the person in this video isn't that you never feel the impulse. It's the wince afterward, the repair, the daily refusal to turn the crank. One last time. Vancouver, room 2. The detail I held back. Inside the grinder, hidden below the funnel, was a barrier. The bugs never reached the blades. Muffin, Ike, and Tootsie survived every single session. The crunching sound was theater, but the participants didn't know that. Every person who turned that crank believed the killing was real. The harm was fake. The choice was completely real. And that's the point. Strip away every excuse, every provocation, every consequence, and what's left is the naked preference. Given a harmless option and a cruel one, some people reach for the cruel one, and most people don't. Remember that too. Most chose the ice water, the toilet, the harmless thing. The world is mostly made of them. Quietly decent people you've learned not to notice because the cruel ones are so much louder in memory. So you don't need anger. You don't need a confrontation. You need something quieter. Permission to stop debating the evidence once the pattern has repeated. At some point, believing them stops being cynicism. It becomes literacy. The machine never hurt anyone. The crank still told the truth. What a person does when they believe your pain is real and costs them nothing is the truest thing you will ever learn about them.